All right, let's go number 12.
Number 12, another team. There's a lot of these teams, by the way, that have a lot of hope. My microphone falls down. The mic is disagreeing. It doesn't want me to hype up this team.
Just mic dropped it. I like it.
I did, but the mic dropped itself, which is strange. Let's go ahead and say the Chicago Bears. Another team that arrow is certainly looking up. They had an issue with their passing game, an issue with pass protection, and an issue on defense. They added two of the best linebackers available, TJ Edwards, and I can't remember the other linebacker they got. Drawing a blank. On offense, they added DJ Moore, who we mentioned just left Carolina. Their offensive line actually gelled and played better towards the end of the season last year, and they drafted an offensive lineman in the first round. So, and third year of Justin Fields. So you have a lot of these kind of arrow pointing up things with Chicago right now. Another division that with Aaron Rodgers out the door is really wide open. Multiple divisions like this in the NFC. So this is another team I wouldn't be surprised if they're higher on this list at the end of the season. They could be a sneaky playoff team if all of these pieces gel and all of this hope actually coalesces. But as it stands now, that's what we're doing, John. We're judging them as it stands now. So I'll put the Bears at 12.
They're weird for me. 10 straight losses to end the year. And I know everybody got so pumped about Justin Fields, but that was a fantasy-like bump. He was not performing well. Running the ball incredibly well.
Right.
But like those 10 losses, I think they had like 2 games within 1 score. Like they were getting the doors blown off. So I like that there is hope here, and I'm pulling for them just because the Bears have been so historically bad. I do like Justin Fields. I don't know about this coaching staff. I just 12, I think, is a good spot. But yeah, they're
I am not high on the coaching staff yet. Eberflus hasn't done much there. But it's all hope. It's projection. That's what we're saying. I wouldn't be surprised if they move up, but as it stands now, they've got to keep them where they are at 12.
I like it. Shot J says, listening while driving to the car wash. Don't forget to like, subscribe, Patreon. I like it. Thank you.
John, I want to quickly just address a question by Big Papa in the chat. He asked about vision over the center of the field, a problem for short quarterbacks. Yes, it is. Like that is the one area of concern for short quarterbacks. If you look at Kyler Murray, that's actually been one of his issues in Arizona is they can see better. The vision is more direct to the outside of the numbers. Where when you got linebackers going on, if you're 5'10", 5'11", it's a little bit harder to see those crossers, to kind of see those deep ends. Doesn't mean it can't work, but yes, that is a legitimate concern from scouts for people who study quarterbacks is shorter quarterbacks and the center of the field.
I like it. Always good question for Big Papa. Great answer there. All right, let's go number 11, and we got Don Burr in the chat. What's up, Don? He shows up every offseason.
Oh, he should stick around. He'll like where I put Detroit, maybe not where John.
We're going to argue about that.
We're going to argue.
Okay, all right. Number 11.
So this year, every year you have like a team. I think Detroit was it for me last year. I'm a Dolphins fan, for those who've never watched the show before and don't know that. But I always tend to have a team, maybe 2, in the offseason who's coming up that I kind of fall for. And this year's the Atlanta Falcons. So I have them at 11. Because once again, yet another team with a whole lot of hype. They added a ton of pieces, especially on defense in the offseason. They basically added a whole bunch of guys from the Saints. They added the co-defensive coordinator for the Saints to be their primary DC. They added David Onyemata, Caden Ellis, guys I'm really high on. Calais Campbell, still playing at a decently high level.
Love that man.
Bud Dupree, just for some extra rotational pass rush. And they got Jesse Bates, the other safety from Cincinnati. On paper, this looks like a dramatically improved defense, which was their biggest weakness last year. Let's go to the offense. One of, if not possibly the best, or at least top 3 offensive lines in the NFL last year. I don't know that it gets enough pop, especially running the ball. They kept Caleb McGarry. They signed Chris Lindstrom to an extension, even though he wasn't due yet. They had a 1,000-yard rusher in Tyler Algier, and then they added Bijan Robinson, who apparently going to use all over the field. Kyle Pitts coming back. Drake London going into year 2. The biggest question, like a lot of these teams, though, John, is the quarterback position. We don't know what we're getting in Desmond Ridder. Played 4 games, won 2 of them. Once again, really, really weak division. Probably the weakest division in football. So the Falcons, it's there for you to take it. I love all the moves they've made, but we have to actually see it happen on the field before I can move them above 11.
Yeah, I mean, they spent some money, man. They spent some money. And if they don't do well, the coaching staff, everybody's gone. including the quarterback, Desmond Ridder. And, we had that comment there from Change Capability Institute. Surprised they moved on from Mariota. Now, Marcus Mariota destroyed the 49ers. He was the NFC Player of the Week against us when they beat us, but then was trash after that. They eventually sent him home and told him just don't even come to the locker room. They did the whole Derek Carr thing.
He was actually one of the least accurate quarterbacks of starting quarterbacks in the NFL. May have been the worst of people starting a certain amount of games. His value was in running the ball, and I mean that's how they were able to move the ball against San Francisco with that running game. Throwback that I predicted that Falcons victory. By the way, you guys are not happy with me, but they cannot. They can only go so far with Mariota. They also know what they're getting in Mariota. Ridder is still a rookie. They needed to give him the reins. Tyler Heineke's sneaky good backup in Atlanta. So if the wheels go off with Ridder, you've got Heineke there. But I'm not surprised at all they moved on from Mariota. Looking forward to seeing that Netflix QB documentary, though, John.
It's hilarious because it's like Patrick Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, then Mariota. It was
a very strange combination. But now that we know what happened in Atlanta, I'm kind of curious to see the Mariota train go off the tracks just for entertainment purposes.
Yeah. Oh, that's right, Kevin. I remember this now. Mariota quit on them and went home. That's right. That is correct. I was wrong. It was no, they sent Derek Carr home and then Mariota quit. That's right. Yeah. That's what it was. All right, let's go number 10. We're in the top 10 of the NFC now.
Here, I've got the San Francisco 49ers. I'm just kidding.
Oh,
okay. Wanted to troll you guys. It's been a while since I've been on the show. I got to throw some darts in there. No, you mentioned Derek Carr. Let's mention his new team, the New Orleans Saints. Probably when I do my preseason predictions for division winners, and it might be because I just love the moves, I will probably pick Atlanta to win this division. But once again, where they stand now, I have to give the Saints a slight edge. Their offense was actually really good with Andy Dalton last year, and they added an upgrade. Whatever you think about Dalton versus Carr, if you take last season out, which was a train wreck for Carr in Las Vegas, from 2017 to 2021, basically every passing metric there is, every advanced metric for quarterback, every regular statistical category, Carr is a far superior quarterback than Andy Dalton. So you have Chris Olave,
it's the eye shadow. That's what it is.
Hey, whatever works for him, man. I don't care. The shadow works when you're a Raider, and does it work in New Orleans? I guess we'll see. Questions around running back with Alvin Kamara possibly facing a suspension, but they did bring on Jamal Williams, who's at least a capable, solid running back, and they've got Kendry Miller, the rookie. So there's a lot to like about this offense. Defense still run by Dennis Allen. Not a great head coach, but a good defensive coach. They did lose all those guys I mentioned to the Falcons, Caden Ellis, David Onyemata, Shai Tuttle also gone, Marcus Davenport. So they lost a lot of pieces on the defense, but they always seem to find a way to be decent. So as it stands now, I gave New Orleans the slight edge, but we've already exhausted the NFC South and we're only at 10.
That was the thing I'm looking at. Like you got the Saints at 10, Falcons at 11, Panthers 13, Bucks 14. Mm-hmm. And so like they're all close to each other.
Yeah, it's anybody's division except the Bucks because Kyle Trask and or Baker Mayfield is not winning that division.
Oh, yikes. Yeah. Yikes. All right, let's move on. Let's go number 9.
Number 9, another team with uncertainty and hope at the same time. The Green Bay Packers go on from a Hall of Fame quarterback who is now in New York, New Jersey, and moved to Jordan Love. I know we've seen a little bit of him, and it's been up and down. The most recent we saw him was against the Eagles, the team that went to the NFC Championship game last year. And he looked really good for about 3 quarters. And not just the numbers, because I know Christian Watson took a pass and ran an extra 60 yards. If you look at some of his metrics, if you watch the tape on that, and I have, he's reading the field well. He's going through multiple progressions. Small sample size, but he looked good. He looked really good in the preseason last year too. But he's never started an entire NFL season, so we just don't know what we're getting out of Jordan Love. It's a make it or break it year. They restructured his contract instead of picking up his 5th-year option, which is something we've never really seen before. Works for the team and gives Love a little bit of money while at the same time saying, hey, we are happy to move on from you next year. They do have a good roster in general, but once again, all comes down to the QB position in Green Bay.
The 49ers Rush Podcast.